Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicClassicsToday.com with Mildred. Say hi. Say hi. Oh, okay. Here with the greatest recordings ever. If I do the hand thing, she's going to jump away. So I'm going to put her down and we're going to play fetch, right? Isn't that what you want? Okay. You've been a very good girl. Thank you. Thank you. Here you go. Here is the fetch object. Go! Oh, she's so happy. Okay. What am I doing? I didn't even remember my glasses. Heck, I can't see anything. There we go. All right. The greatest recordings ever. Which one are we dealing with? Oh, you know which one. Walton, Symphony No. 1 with André, Previn and the London Symphony. And as I have pointed out numerous times, some recordings in these talks are going to be interesting and maybe a little bit unknown, and some are going to be obvious. And boy, is this one obvious. This recording has been acclaimed since the day it came out. The day it came out was, oh my goodness gracious. Speaking of seeing things, let's see. Oh, there we go. 1972. Is that when it was recorded? I don't believe that. Oh, recorded 1966. Thank you. 1966 and 1971, the Wasp's Overture, with which it is coupled on RCA. Now, here is the deal. In 1966, when this thing came out, there was very little competition. I mean, basically, there was Walton's own recording, and there was Malcolm Sargent, which wasn't bad. It really wasn't. Walton's wasn't very good, actually. But both of those suffered from inadequate sonics, or less than fabulous sonics. And the difference, well, let me put it to you this way. Malcolm Sargent was not a bad conductor, but he was not a great conductor either. He was very good at choral works and whatnot, and he did this. And he was reliable. I mean, they put it together well, but there is a moment that tells you everything you need to know about the difference between Malcolm Sargent's version of this and Previn's. In the finale, as you enter the coda, the orchestra is doing this huge build-up, and then two sets of timpani, cymbals, and tam-tam come crashing in. Now, with Malcolm Sargent, you hear everything. I mean, it sounds okay. But that moment of arrival just skates right by. It's going, yam, ba, ba, da, 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 dum, bum, bum, da, 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 jump, 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 crash, boom, boom, da, da, jump, 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 crash, boom, jump, da, da. That's Malcolm Sargent. Previn does jump, bum, ba, bum, bum, ba, da, 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 bum, ba, bum, bum, crash, doom, pow. You get the difference, right? You see what I'm trying to say here? The difference is that Previn understands the rhetorical emphasis, which is in the score. It's what Walton wants. And Sargent sort of just skates right over it. So everything is there in the Sargent recording. It's not bad. But with Previn, you get a sense that he really understands what the big moments are and how to project them. And in 1966, the London Symphony was always kind of a slovenly band after the war. They had Pierre Monteux, who they liked him. And they would play for him now and again, and they would be okay. But when Previn got a hold of them, he whipped them into shape in a very, very powerful way, and they entered really what was a golden age of recordings and a new era of orchestral discipline and general professional results, which was quite wonderful. But even aside from that, he did it in this work, which was on the verge of becoming an iconic British symphony. It probably wasn't quite yet, number one. And number two, if you know Walton's scores, if you know the way Walton writes, he's incredibly precise. He's really kind of French in the way he writes his scores. It's just very, very detailed, with lots of little accents and mannerisms, not mannerisms, but little tchotchkes and things that you're supposed to be doing. And so he's very, very careful. And so to have a performance that really attempts to realize the level of detail and nuance that Walton writes into the score, which everybody else had ignored, including Walton himself, more than anybody else, that was special. That was truly, truly special. It was a landmark recording for the London Symphony Orchestra, for Previn himself, who was just starting his tenure there, and in the Walton discography, because, Walton's favorite conductor was George Szell with the Cleveland Orchestra. Those were the people, because Szell was that way. Szell was as persnickety and finicky as Walton was. And so, Szell's performance of these things was amazing. But Walton's First Symphony was his major statement in the symphonic realm. Szell recorded the Second Symphony and the Hindemith variations and the partita and a couple other things like that. But we wanted a Szell quality performance of the First Symphony, and to do it in England with an English orchestra. Oh my! You knew the English critics were just going to have an orgasm. And they did. It was really predictable in that sense. But this is a stunning, fabulous performance, and it is held up. It is held up beautifully. There have been other wonderful performances of the first. Particularly Leonard Slatkin's on Virgin Classics. It was part of the first release of Virgin Classics titles. That's also ferocious and wonderful. And Andrew Litton did it really well. It seems like American conductors do these very well, actually, although Bryden Thompson's was quite good, too. So, yeah, there have been other very fine performances of the First Symphony since then, but this has held its own as primus inter pares, if you want to call it that, or just the best ever. Really, please. So there you go. You must have this, and you must hear Walton's First Symphony, which is, of course, one of the most stunning and powerful 20th century symphonies. It's amazing. So keep on listening, friends. Thanks for joining me. Take care.